What if tomorrow you woke up with $0 in your bank account, no safety net, no backup plan, just the knowledge in your head and the determination in your heart? Most people would panic at the thought, but I see it as the ultimate test of what actually works. So let me share with you exactly how I would go from $0 to $10,000 as quickly as possible using only my knowledge and with no special skills. The truth about making money quickly isn't what most gurus tell you. It's not about complicated funnels or finding some mystical business model that nobody is talking about. Those are distractions, big shiny objects designed to keep you watching content again and again instead of actually doing something and making real money. Real wealth creation follows simple principles. Principles that work regardless of economic conditions. Principles that don't require special connections or years of experience. When you strip away all the noise and you focus on what actually works, everything becomes simpler, clearer, more actionable. I've seen countless people completely transform their financial reality with the process I'm going to reveal. And I'm talking about people who started with nothing, no special advantages, no rich parents, no fancy degrees, just a willingness to see the world differently and to take action consistently on what actually matters. And here's the harsh truth I need you to understand. Most people stay broke because they focus on low leverage activities. They trade time for money in the most inefficient ways possible. They chase trends rather than timeless principles. The approach I'm sharing with you isn't about getting lucky. It's about being strategic. It's about understanding where real value is created in today's economy and positioning yourself at that intersection. So let's break down exactly what I would do if I had to start from scratch all over again to make $10,000 fast. On day one, I would make a most fundamental mindset shift that most people never make. Instead of asking, how can I make money? Which would make me fall for traps like affiliate marketing or chasing tiny profit margins with dropshipping, I would ask myself, what problems can I solve for people? This simple question alone changes everything. It forces you to think from a value perspective like a real entrepreneur instead of being selfish and self-centered. It positions you as a service provider rather than somebody who's begging for money. Every day, individuals and businesses face problems that cost them significant time, money, and energy. It could be problems in health, in relationships, in dating, in literally every aspect of life. And those problems create pains, frustrations, missed opportunities, wasted time, the list goes on and on. When you position yourself as the solution to a painful problem, price becomes secondary. Results become everything. Now, unfortunately, there are some things we're not allowed to share on YouTube, which is why to help you, I've recorded a free training to show you how I went from $0 to over $1,200 a day with 95% profit margins. The link is in the description and I highly suggest you check it out when you're done with this video. You can also book a free call with me or my team and together, we'll come up with a game plan for you to get to 5 to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But be quick because we literally get hundreds of applications per month, so we don't have enough spots for everyone. One of my students was dead broke after losing his job. So instead of panicking, he took the time to think and he realized that lots of local businesses were struggling to adapt to the online world. And the expensive problem they were facing is that they couldn't reach online customers because they didn't know how to transition from being local to going online. And this student of mine didn't have specific super in-depth marketing knowledge, but he knew the basics. And most importantly, he had a willingness to roll up his sleeves and to do whatever it took to succeed. So he created a very simple offer. I will build your business a social media presence and I will help you to get your first 100 online customers or you pay nothing. That was his offer. His first client paid him $2,000 up front. Within 60 days, he made over $12,000 working with 6 local businesses. And it wasn't because he was the world's greatest marketing expert. He clearly wasn't. It's just because he positioned himself and his offer as the solution to help them to solve their problems. That is the power of problem solving as opposed to skill seeking. When you solve problems that cost people money, charging premium prices becomes easy. Now you might be thinking, okay, that sounds great, but what if I don't have any specific skills or expertise right now? This limiting belief is exactly what keeps most people trapped in financial mediocrity. Here is the truth that will set you free. You don't need to be the world's greatest expert. You just need to be a few steps ahead of the people you're helping. Everyone, yes, everyone has knowledge, skills, expertise, or even they've gone through challenges that they've been able to overcome in the past that other people would gladly pay to learn how they can get rid of this problem or how they can get this knowledge or skill. So your journey, including the obstacles and the struggles you faced, is exactly what makes your perspective so valuable. One of my coaching customers was a college student who struggled with severe anxiety. And after developing a system that allowed her to calm her social anxiety and to excel academically, she started to offer the same solution as a coaching program to other students. Within 3 months, she was making more money than her professors at university. Not because she had decades of experience or fancy credentials, she didn't have any of that. That was only possible because she solved a specific, painful problem for a specific group of people. So let's go back to our scenario. After coming up with a painful problem I could solve for other people, my next step would be to focus on creating an offer so good it would be a no-brainer for my ideal customers. The key here is specificity. Vague offers create hesitation. Specific offers, on the other hand, create action. So for example, instead of saying, I will help local businesses with marketing, which is super broad, not very sexy, and you don't really know what you're gonna get, I could say something like, I will help local restaurants to fill empty tables on weekday nights using simple, inexpensive paid ads. Can you see the difference? The second approach speaks directly about a painful problem, not having enough booked tables, and it also promises a specific outcome, in this case to get more booked tables on weekdays with a clear parameter, to not spend a crazy amount of money on ads. Now with my offer clearly created, I would move on to the next step, creating content that positions me as the go-to person to help them to fix their problems. Now when you're targeting local businesses, something that also works really well, it's simply cold calling and mass cold emailing. But for any other type of offer, I would suggest you only focus on content creation. But this is where most people go wrong. They create random content hoping to go viral instead of focusing on creating strategic content to attract their ideal customers to them. So right now, if I were starting from zero today, I would focus on creating specific and very targeted short-form content to attract my ideal customers to me. I would speak directly about their pain points and give them tips to solve their problems. I would consistently publish this content on whatever platform my target customers utilize the most. It could be YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, literally any platform, even LinkedIn. And each piece of content I make would follow a very simple formula. I would identify a common pain point and common desires that my ideal customers are looking to achieve. I would challenge conventional wisdom on how to achieve this objective and explain why my path is better and why it works, because this creates curiosity in people. I had a customer who started to help e-commerce brands to deal with abandoned carts. Because if you know, for e-commerce brands, when people don't check out, they were literally about to buy. So it's like they're super warm leads. You need to recontact them quickly to see if you could get them to finish the purchase. They were clearly interested. So instead of giving generic marketing tips, he created very specific content talking about solving this problem directly. So one of his first videos, if I remember correctly, it was titled something like, the real reason why 70% of your customers abandon their cart. And then he said in brackets, it's not what you think. And while this video didn't go viral, it didn't get hundreds of thousands of views or millions of views, it got dozens of messages in his inbox begging him for help. And within just a few weeks, he signed 5 customers at $2,000 each. Now, unfortunately, there are some things we're not allowed to share on YouTube, which is why, to help you, I've recorded a free training to show you how I went from zero to over $1,200 a day with 95% profit margins. The link is in the description, and I highly suggest you check it out when you're done with this video. You can also book a free call with me or my team, and together, we'll come up with a game plan for you to get to 5 to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But be quick, because we literally get hundreds of applications per month, so we don't have enough spots for everyone. The power of the method I'm sharing with you is that it completely eliminates the need for selling in the traditional sense. You don't have to be pushy or salesy or manipulative because your content acts as a mini video sales letter. It directly pre-sells your ideal customers on your offer. So when they come to you, they're invested, they're committed, and they're ready. Now, this is where most people go wrong again. They dramatically undercharge because they lack confidence in their offer and in the value they can provide. So if I were starting from zero, I would price my services, my offer, based on the value it delivers as opposed to the time it takes me. This mindset shift is worth 6, even 7 figures on its own. I'm not even joking. Just think about it this way. If you help a business to generate an extra $50,000, $5,000 as a price tag would feel like a bargain because it's a 10x return on investment. You're not selling time, you're selling outcomes. This value-based pricing allowed one of my customers to charge $5,000 for an offer that took him 10 hours to complete. So if we look at it from an hourly basis, was it expensive? Yes, it could look so, but he helped his customers to generate over 25,000 new revenue per month. So from that perspective, we could even say his service was ridiculously underpriced. Now with my offer clearly defined, and my content strategy in place to attract my ideal customers, there would be one last step to reaching $10,000. Have genuine conversations with potential customers and make it easy for them to say yes. Make the value so obvious they would feel stupid if they said no. There's no high pressure tactics, no manipulation, just an honest conversation about their painful problems and how we can help them. And one of the most powerful questions you can probably ask in these kinds of conversations is this: what would solving this problem be worth to you? And then let them tell you the value of it. You would often be surprised at how high their number is compared to what you expected to charge. So this approach, coming up with a painful problem to solve for people, creating targeted content, having real, genuine conversations with people to see if you can help them or not, it's not flashy, it's not sexy, it's not super complicated. However, it works with relentless consistency. And I've seen people go from $0 to $10,000 in weeks starting with this method, not because they were super special or talented or lucky, rather because they focused on the fundamentals of creating value instead of chasing a new trend like dropshipping or the new affiliate marketing product. Like, this kind of stuff barely works. And I know because I spoke to hundreds of people who wanted to build a profitable online business. So what expensive problems could you start solving for people today? What transformation could you help others to achieve based on your unique experience of life and knowledge? The difference between people who struggle and the people who thrive financially, it's not luck or connections or talent. It's clarity about the value they provide and the problems that they solve for people.